Welcome back. Middays in the Element Wealth Studios. Dave Hughes here. And we have joining us now the founder and CEO of Safe Haven Baby Boxes and a traveling woman, as you can see on SuperTalk TV, Monica Kelsey. How you doing this morning, Monica?
I'm doing well. How about you guys down south?
Doing fantastic so far. The weather may or may not make it good. Drive safely, by the way, while you're out there riding about. Now, we've got we've got a success story to talk about, and I want to start with that. Actually, I take that back. Before we start with that, for people who aren't aware of it, describe the Safe Haven Baby Boxes program and what it does and what it means and how it works.
So the Safe Haven Baby Box is just an extension of the already existing Safe Haven law, where a parent could walk into any fire station in America or any hospital in America and walk up and hand their child to a person. Well, I designed a box that goes in the side of firehouses and hospitals where a baby can still be delivered to these locations, but instead of, if they're out on a call or they're not there and the parents placing these babies on the ground, they're now being placed in baby boxes that alert 911. They actually call 911 on their own. And so these babies are being picked up in about 2 minutes. And we've got 350 boxes throughout the United States. We've got 5 in the state of Mississippi. And we're saving babies across this country, and to God be the glory for all we've accomplished.
Well, and I think there's a psychological advantage to having the boxes as an option, because some people, it's going to be an almost insurmountable hill to walk up to someone face to face and hand them your baby. This kind of removes that psychological barrier, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, and the shame and the judgment that not that these firefighters or these hospital workers are trying to put in front of these parents that are walking in. It's just something that these parents are starting to feel. They are basically saying, "I'm best for my child, and it's not me." And no matter what anyone can say or do, they're still going to have that guilt inside. And so this just allows them to do the same thing, which is surrender their child legally, but to do it anonymously, so they don't have to feel that shame. They don't have to feel that guilt, but knowing that their child is going to be saved by the Safe Haven law and picked up within about 2 minutes.
Which is a fantastic response time. Now, that here in Mississippi has now happened for... Well, she didn't. Oh, now she froze on us. What we're talking about, we had a second one here in Mississippi that was handed over to one of the baby boxes. She's back. It's magical, Monica. Good job. We had another baby that was turned into a baby box here in Mississippi, right? Second one. Am I right on that?
The second baby this year surrendered in a baby box in the state of Mississippi. And there's only 5 boxes, so we definitely know that we need to get more there.
Well, that was my next question. At what point do you see enough people making use of this that you start expanding the program? And I think you just answered that question.
Well, and we never want a parent to utilize this if they don't want to. There's so many options out there for parents, but we don't want to need this resource and not have it in a community. We would rather have a resource in a community that's not being utilized, because if a baby box is needed and there's not one there, we're going to find a dead baby in a dumpster or a trash can, and that's just unacceptable in 2025. And so we're doing everything possible to make sure that these babies are safe. These moms have as many options as they can. But at the end of the day, it's the safety of the infant and the safety of mom.
What got us here? What led you to start this program and get involved in this?
I was abandoned as an infant back in 1973. And so I've taken my pain and I've taken my story and I've put those two things together, and I've made something better for others. And I think that's truly what we're called to do here on this earth, is to do unto others as we would want them to do to us. And so my birth mom didn't have these resources back then, but today women have resources because of my story.
That, to me, is probably the biggest message that you can bring with this organization. Yes, saving the babies is number one. It's hugely important. Giving mothers options when they feel they don't have any. Because when you reach that point, you feel like you have no options. You have nowhere to turn. To me, the most powerful thing about this is you took your pain, took your problems, took your troubles, and turned them into something good. And I think everybody needs to work on using that as a mechanism in their life. And you're a success story from doing exactly that. So I'm sure people have told you before. I don't care. I haven't told you. Great job. Very well done.
Well, thank you. I never wanted to be a victim. I always wanted to just life story, like you said, and turn it into something better for others because I can't go back. I can't change anything that happened to me. And I think that's what people need to realize with their past is they can't change the past, but they can certainly change the future and the outcome of stories like mine.
Well, and that's the important thing. And we talk a lot of lip service about doing exactly that, but not everybody takes the actual steps to make it happen. Now, let me ask you, when somebody drops a baby off at one of these baby boxes, and as you said, it's a 2-minute response time, they're there. Somebody's got that baby and has it under control. What happens from there? I assume that varies by state to some extent.
It does. In the state of Mississippi, the babies go to the Department of Child Services and then placed immediately with a foster to adopt family. So, who's getting this baby right from the hospital after this baby is taken to the hospital is the adoptive families that are going to keep this baby forever. And so, of course, there's paperwork that's going to take quite a while. So the baby's not going to be officially adopted with this, with the last name of the family right away. But the important thing is this baby's going to be with them, bonding with the family that's going to have them forever. And so it's important for me to have these babies with their forever families immediately. I didn't bond with my biological or with my adoptive parents because I wasn't given to them right away. And so as much as I love my parents and I would do anything for them, the bond just wasn't there with my mother. And so for me, I want to again do this for others to make sure that these babies are bonded with these adoptive moms so that the outcome is better for them.
One other thing that your personal story proves in relation to this, because we have people that see baby boxes and the horror stories that you mentioned earlier about babies being found dead in a dumpster, which is a true thing. That has happened multiple times around the country.
Yes.
Your story is a great illustration that disproves an attitude that seems to have built up over the last decade, which is that things are getting so bad, moms are now abandoning their baby. No, this is not a new problem. This didn't just start happening, did it?
No, actually, this is something that's been happening for many generations. The safe haven law, the original safe haven law, was actually enacted 25 years ago, where parents can surrender their babies. But what we were finding still, even with the safe haven law, was that babies were being left at the doors of safe haven locations. Fire stations, even if they're 24/7, if there's a fire, they're all leaving. They're not staying at that building. And so if a mother comes to surrender her infant at that fire station and they're not there, what is she going to do? She's going to leave that baby on the ground. And so we don't want that to happen. It's been happening way too often across this country, and we're now doing something about it to make sure that these babies are safe. But abandonments have been happening for generations, and I think today we're being called for this. For such a time as this, I think is the words.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. Now, I hate to put you on the spot, but where are the boxes in Mississippi? You said we have 5 of them, right?
Oh my goodness, you would ask me that, wouldn't you?
I told you I was going to put you on the spot here.
Long Beach, I think has 2, and then of course Mendenhall, Collins. Collins was the other location that had a baby this year in January, and then for the life of me, I can't remember the 5th one. But you can go to our website, which is shbb.org, and there's a list of every location in America. And so you can just find out which location's closest to you or count all the Mississippi locations. But I can't for the life of me remember.
I got to tell you, Monica, you're dealing with several hundred of these things spread all around the country. How dare you not have ours memorized?
I should have before I even got on this call, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I prefaced it with I'm putting you on the spot because I knew where that was going. I wouldn't remember them. I don't remember my own phone number some days. So, yeah, I get it 100%. And, of course, this is one of the things I want to make sure that we make clear. This is privately funded, right?
It is. We don't take tax dollars, federal or state. And so everything is done by donations. So people who believe in our ministry that give us, their uh, hard-earned money. That's what it goes to. It goes to baby boxes across this country, billboards. We run a hotline, a 24-hour hotline where parents can call us and get information about the resources in their area. And so, it's one of these things that is Christ driven. Wherever he wants us to go is where we're going to go. And if he doesn't want us going there, I'm sure he'll shut that door.
We've got about 20 seconds before we go. If someone likes what you're doing and wants to help out, how do they get a hold of you?
Go to shbb.org. They can go to the contact us. They can make a donation there. They can get a ton of information, and they can see everything about what we're doing across this country.
Monica, Kelsey, appreciate your time. Again, travel safely, and we will talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you. Have a good day.